Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Prince Automation Destination. This is Prince. I hope you are doing well. So today we are going to discuss about how to utilize AI tools to boost your productivity while working in test automation framework. So quickly, let us try to understand the use case. So when we work in any UI automation, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to navigate to the pages. We need to extract the locators, then inject those locators into the respective pages within the framework. And at last, we write the test cases and we utilize those pages or locators from the pages, right? So this is how we do it. So this involves a lot of manual effort. But with the help of Playwright MCP, this can be simplified. And what we are going to do is we are going to utilize Playwright MCP with GitHub Copilot. We'll be automating the sample flow with the help of Playwright MCP, and later with the help of GitHub Copilot agent mode, we will be injecting the pages and test cases directly into the framework. And this is how we'll be able to reduce the manual effort. So this is what is going to be the use case. But before we dive deep into the current discussion, it becomes important that you should have some idea on what is MCP. So for that purpose, let us go to the very basic. So how a Gen AI tool works. So we give some input, which is known as prompt, and as a result, we get some output. So how it generates the output? So it has brain. So what is that brain? That brain is LLM. LLM stands for large language model. So these large language models are responsible for generating the output, right? So what are these LLMs? So they're like Claude 1 at 3.5, 3.7, 4.0, GPT 4.0, GPT 5.0, which is the recent one. So these are the LLM models which generate the output, right? Now, these have some limitations. These LLMs have some limitations, meaning if we want LLMs to talk to external data sources, that is not possible. So this is a limitation. So how we can enable that? Suppose, for example, we want any Gen AI tool like GitHub Copilot to open a Chrome browser and launch some application, perform some browser operations. So that is not possible by default. But with the help of MCP servers like Playwright MCP or Selenium MCP, we can enable that. So this is what is MCP. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. So it is like a bridge between LLM and the external data sources. So in this case, browser is the external data sources. So once this link is established, then LLM can directly talk to browser and can perform the browser operations, right? So this is what is MCP server. Now we are going to utilize Playwright MCP because it has Playwright functionality, and using Playwright functionality, we can interact with the browser and we can automate a flow. So this is what is the Playwright MCP. This is how we can utilize Playwright MCP. So now let us quickly jump onto the discussion. So what are the tools that we are going to utilize? We are going to utilize GitHub Copilot in agent mode, because in agent mode, it would be able to read the framework. It would be able to write the things into the framework. And we are going to utilize Playwright MCP server, which would be talking to the browser, getting the locators of the page with the help of snapshot feature, and will be able to extract the locators, right? Now, what are going to be the steps? So first of all, we will be automating a sample flow with the help of this particular Playwright MCP server. Then we'll be fetching the elements using snapshot feature of Playwright. We'll be creating the pages in the framework. We'll be creating the test cases corresponding to the framework. And then we'll be asking it to run the test cases, and we'll ask it to fix it if there are some issues, right? So for that purpose, let me jump onto the framework. So this is a sample framework, right? This is a TestNG based framework which has pom.xml. We can say this is a Maven based framework, and it has Selenium dependency and TestNG dependency. If I go to src main Java, in src main Java, I simply create a driver manager where we have create driver, which give us a driver instance. So this is singleton based implementation, though it doesn't have the thread safety. However, I have created separate videos on how to implement thread safety in singleton and what is singleton. You can check out the same in 𝐼𝐿, right? Also, what I've done is I have written one utilities to read the properties from the this particular resources file, right? src test resources. Okay, so these are the three things that I have added. Now let me collapse src main section, right? And now let us come to src test Java. In src test Java, I have created only two packages, pages and test. It doesn't contain anything, right? Also, what I have done is I have added one plugin, that is GitHub Copilot. So I'm navigating to settings, and here I can go to plugins, and I can see under installed section, right? Copilot, right? So in my case, it is already installed. That's why I don't need to reinstall it. So as soon as this is installed, you can navigate to this particular icon this will show GitHub Copilot. So this is GitHub Copilot. In your case, it won't be logged in. So you will have to log in with your GitHub account. And this is how you'll be able to use it, right? Now, let us automate a sample plot. For that purpose, I'll be going here, right? But even before that, I just want to show you that this GitHub Copilot is chosen in agent mode. And in agent mode, what we can do is, this agent mode allows this particular LLM or GitHub Copilot to make changes in the framework. Also, with this particular agent mode, we can add MCP server. In my case, I have already added Playwright MCP server. In your case, it won't be added by default. So what you can do is, you can simply click on add more tools. And as soon as you will click on add more tools, you will land on this particular MCP.json. And if you will take a look at the location of this particular MCP.json, right? So I'm just simply forwarding it. So it is C users friends Patra, app data, local, GitHub Copilot, IntelliJ, and MCP.json. So it is somewhere under IntelliJ, right? So now we need to provide this particular information. So how I got this particular information? I got this information from Playwright official GitHub account, GitHub repository. So let me show you the same. Okay, Playwright MCP, right? So it is developed by Microsoft. So we can navigate to this particular GitHub repository. So here somewhere you'll find this particular configuration. So you can copy this particular configuration and provide it, right? Here it is MCP servers, while this particular IntelliJ with GitHub Copilot, it is using servers. So we can directly change it to servers. So here it is MCP servers and here it is servers, right? So if it is very well configured, then you will start seeing these tools. So these are like Playwright tools. So we can close the browser, we can resize the browser. So one such feature you will see is snapshot feature. For that, I have already covered a video how to utilize snapshot feature. You can check out the same in 𝐼𝐴𝐿, right? So now this is what it would be using internally to capture the elements of a page, right? Now what we are going to do is, as I have this particular Playwright MCP already integrated, I am simply going to ask it to launch this particular sample application, right? Launch source demo application with Playwright MCP. Right? Otherwise, it can think like I'm asking it to launch from the framework, right? So it may go to the framework and may execute the test case as well, right? So now it is reading file pom.xml, right? And now it would be going to Playwright MCP request and it could be utilizing Playwright MCP and will be launching the application, right? So now we can ask it to launch the application, right? So I can simply navigate to this particular location and copy this particular thing. And we'll ask it to launch source demo app, right? With Playwright MCP, right? So it's important that we should type in, otherwise it may not understand properly. So it will take a look at the MCP server that is connected and will be utilizing it, right? So let us see whether it would be utilizing this particular feature or not. So you see, running MCP tool browser navigate, right? So it will launch this particular prompt and it will launch source demo as well, right? Next thing what I'm going to ask is, please log into this particular application with some sample credentials, right? So these are the credentials. So let me copy it and let me ask it first. Please log in to the application with following credentials. Okay, so this is going to be username. And now let me provide password as well. And let me copy this particular password. So this is sample application, so everything is available here as well, right? So if I'll ask it, now it will log into the application and will enter credentials as well. So let us observe the same, right? So it has entered this standard user and now it is going to enter the password. In my case, it was already stored. That's why you are seeing already populated, but it is entering, right? Now what we can ask it is, we can ask it to add this particular item into the cart, right? So I just simply copied the name, right? Now I'm going to GitHub Copilot and will ask it, please add the following item into the cart, right? And then check it out with following details, meaning the billing details I'm going to provide, right? So first name, it needs first name, right? I'll be showing you. Then it needs last name, which is automation, right? Also, we can provide PIN code as. So let us say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Now let me hit this particular request and let us come here. So it will automatically fetch this particular locator. It will add the item into the cart, then it will navigate to checkout, and then after it will check it out, right? So you see, it has added the item into the cart and then is going to check it out. So let us see. So you see, it clicked on cart. Now it is going to check it out. So it clicked on checkout. Now it is going to provide this first name, last name, and postal code. So everything is happening because of Playwright MCP so far. Okay. So now it will click on finish and the order will be checked down, right? So thank you for your order, right? So this is what we have achieved from MCP so far, right? Now what I'm going to tell it is, please, now I'm going to ask it to create pages and test classes. This is where the agent mode will come into the picture. It will read the framework and it will add the files as well, right? So please create page classes and corresponding test class as well for the above executed flow. So now you will see the beauty of GitHub Copilot agent mode. So it has added login page. So we'll be accepting all the changes at last. So let it complete and only then we will accept all. This is the recommended approach. We should not accept in between, otherwise we may lose some of the changes. So now you see how quickly it is adding all the pages. It is adding the locators, it is adding the methods as well. So it has reduced the manual effort a lot. So whatever the pages are used in the flow, all those pages are added here, right? So once the pages are created, next thing what it will do is, it will create the test case as well, because we have asked it to create the test case as well corresponding to the sample flow that we have executed. So you see, it has added test case as well. So let it complete, right? So now it is typing what it has done, right? So whatever the things it has performed, so it has described all these things in this particular section, right? Now let us accept all, right? Okay. So now let us navigate to individual pages and try to understand, right? So if I go to, for example, login page, in login page, you see user input, password input, login button, and it has added constructor as well, and it is using page factory to initialize the elements. Also, it has added login to application as well, and it is using some explicit wait as well automatically, right? If I go to, for example, products page, right? So here also it has added this particular constructor, then it has added this particular add to cart, Sauce Labs backpack, whatever the product that we have chosen, then navigating to shopping to the cart, then the title, right? Also, it has added the methods as well, whatever needed for this particular page. So this is how it has created, right, in no time, right? Now coming to test case, so it has added before method where it is initializing the driver, and it has automatically utilized the existing driver which was already available in this particular framework, right? Then it is reading the URL from the browser, from the property I'm in, right? So that too it has utilized. Now it has created the objects of each page because all the pages are going to utilize for this particular flow. So login page dot log into the application with this particular credentials. It is verifying something. Then product page dot add backpack to the card. Products navigate to the card, right? So all the operations, right? But I'm going to add one thing, because after logging into the application, there is some error coming, right, related to credentials. So let me add some weight so that I can avoid that, right? Okay. Now it has added the pages and it has added the test case as well. Now let us try to execute, right? And see whether we are getting the fruitful result or not. So it has launched the application. Now it is logging into the application, right? After you log in, it will show some error screen. Let me click on OK so that it doesn't avoid this particular flow, right? Now it is adding the item into the cart and checking it out, adding the information. So this was a fruitful result. So this is how we can utilize this particular Playwright MCP along with GitHub Copilot agent mode to directly create the pages, inject them into the framework, and then create the test case as well. And this is how we can reduce the manual effort. In case this was not successful, we can still ask this particular GitHub Copilot to fix this particular issue. So it will go to the framework, read all the files, and will modify wherever the changes are required, wherever it sees that there is a potential issue, and it will try to fix that, and it will try to execute as well. So it is giving the command as well. So if you ask it to execute it as well, so it would be executing the test case as well. So this is how we can utilize it, and this is what I wanted to cover, guys, as part of current discussion. Thank you for watching. I would request you to please like, share, and subscribe for such more videos.